The UK actually started its energy journey to net zero all the way back in the 1980s, when it started phasing out its coal stations and replacing them with large-scale nuclear power stations. As it's moved forwards through 2010 to 2020, it's massively increased its offshore wind capacity and onshore wind capacity, and actually by 2030 it will have over 40 gigawatts of wind energy. And that is really crucial in terms of where the Isle of Man is at today, because the UK has already spent significant amounts of money investing in its network infrastructure to accommodate all of these renewables. The Isle of Man has not spent that kind of investment at this point in time, and if we are going to transition to net zero using offshore wind, we have to make significant investments in our network for us to be able to do this. Part of the Isle of Man's work on the future energy scenarios, our consultants over it have looked at a lot of market analysis and tried to identify if there are any export opportunities or import opportunities for the Isle of Man. And actually, when we think about what our neighbours are currently doing, the UK has made so much investment in wind power at the moment, as have the Republic of Ireland, that there aren't opportunities for us to export to these countries. However, there's a massive opportunity for us to import, because their scale of investment has been huge, and they've also been able to stabilise these powers using things like nuclear, which means it's cheaper for us to import than to build our own energy on the Isle of Man. And that's great for the just transition, because it means our bills can remain low. Well, while the modelling has shown that it's significantly cheaper for the Isle of Man to import renewable electricity from the UK rather than to generate our own, there are still opportunities for the Isle of Man in renewables and other ways we can help with the transition process. So all of the analysis has shown that small-scale solar, in particular on new build installations, can be cost-effective, and certainly a small amount of generation can be accommodated from these sources. Scenario 3, which is our cheapest scenario for the consumer, shows that small-scale wind projects, community-scale generation projects, are actually economical and would be good to see on the island. There are other opportunities as well, and this is something called demand shifting, which is related to how we use the energy, and there's a fantastic opportunity for Isle of Man businesses to investigate that further and see how we can use energy better. Things like smart appliances will be coming online over the next few years, and the Isle of Man has the right level of business to play a huge part in that journey. The scenarios that have been proposed in the report are currently the only viable solutions for the Isle of Man based on our network constraints and also the economics of where the energy markets sit at the moment. It's the first time we've actually costed any scenario for the future energy setting for consumer. So if you have a look at the reports, you'll see the cost per consumer per year for all of the 5 scenarios that have been proposed, and it's really important to understand those and compare them to your current electricity prices.